The music stalled when she said it. "Why are you even here?" My wife's sister sneered, champagne glass tilted like a blade, eyes sweeping me the way you scan a stain. Her wedding, her spotlight, her rules. I didn't answer. I never rush the ending. The groom froze when he saw me. Not confusion, recognition. The color drained from his face in a clean, surgical way. He leaned toward his father, a high-ranking general dressed in ceremonial green, and whispered something that made the old man stiffen like he'd been struck by a wire. "Tad," the groom said, voice cracking, "that's him, the legendary officer." The general rose instantly. He crossed the room without hesitation, boots quiet on marble, stopped in front of me, and snapped a salute so sharp it cut the air. "Sir," he said, loud enough to fracture the room, "it's an honor to stand in your presence." My wife stopped breathing. Her sister's smile collapsed into ash. That was the present, the payoff. The confession comes before it. I met my wife when I wasn't a legend. I was just a man who still believed in alignment, of values, of futures. She laughed easily then, trusted easily, or pretended to. We built a life with shared calendars and quiet mornings, with plans that looked honest because I wanted them to be. Her sister was always there, watching, measuring. She treated kindness like a currency she planned to counterfeit. I ignored it. I always do, at first. That's my flaw. I give people rope and assume they won't enjoy the knot. The betrayal didn't arrive as thunder. It crept in. A phone turned face down, a new password she forgot she told me, a late meeting that smelled like cologne I didn't own. I noticed everything. I always do. But I don't flinch when I'm hurt. I inventory. The proof came quietly, a message preview on her lock screen while she slept, one line, a time, a hotel I knew too well because I'd booked it for us once, thinking proximity could fix distance. I felt the ache. I allowed it one breath. Then I closed the door on it. I didn't confront. I prepared. I traced money first, followed transactions like footprints in snow. I discovered the joint accounts feeding a shell I'd never authorized. Her sister's fiancé, the groom, was the conduit, an ambitious man who mistook proximity to power for immunity. He and my wife had been siphoning, laundering through consulting invoices tied to defense suppliers. Small cuts, repeated, confident no one was counting. They underestimated me because I looked calm, because I had left service quietly, because I didn't boast. I gathered everything. Screenshots, contracts, voice recordings obtained legally, with consent clauses they didn't read. I hired a forensic accountant who owed me a favor from Kandahar. I briefed a federal investigator I trusted with my life once. I didn't ask for favors. I handed him facts. Then I waited. The wedding invitation arrived on embossed cardstock, smug as a dare. My wife assumed I wouldn't come, that I'd be embarrassed, that I'd be small. I tailored my suit myself, dark, unadorned. I pinned nothing to it. When I walked into the venue, I felt the hum shift. Power recognizes power even when it's quiet. The groom recognized me immediately. He'd seen my name on documents he never thought would circle back. He'd heard stories whispered by men who learned fear professionally. His father knew too. The general had once stood in a war room while my report decided the fate of a border. He remembered the name, the face, the silence that follows. When he saluted me, it wasn't theater, it was reflex. That was when I spoke. "General," I said evenly, "congratulations to your son." The groom was shaking. My wife stared at me like she was seeing a ghost that knew her secrets. I turned to her sister, the bride, who asked why I was even there. "I came," I said, "to return what was taken." The investigator stepped forward, then the accountant, then the weight of reality. Conversations stopped, cameras lowered, the room leaned in. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. I listed dates, amounts, companies. I described the structure of their scheme like I was reading a grocery list. I watched the groom's knees soften as understanding caught up to ambition. My wife reached for my arm. I stepped back. "This isn't personal," I told her. "It's accurate." The general closed his eyes once, then he opened them and nodded. Not to me, to the truth. Security arrived, not the venues. Federal.